Meanwhile, look at what's going on over here. This is behind the stereo. This is Richard and Nancy. Nancy's laying on top of Richard. And Richard knows, like he knows he did something bad.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Tammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals.
It's 7:15 a.m. Look at Splash. He's all stretched out on the couch. I'm super zoomed in right now, so it's a little shaky. And here's Simba. Good morning, Simba. So Simba's been limping recently. It appears to be this leg, his rear hind leg, and I've been watching it, and I think I'm going to make an appointment at the vet. I'm going to call the vet today, see if we get an appointment today or tomorrow or the next day, and see how it goes. I ordered some new dry food for the cats on Amazon last night. It should get here this morning. Some weight control dry food, because Simba does need to lose a little bit of weight. I think that can be contributing to it. So what happened, when Stella wasn't eating her food well and when Boo was being super finicky with his food, Simba was diving in and eating a lot of leftover food. So he did put on some weight over the past 4 or 5 months. I also ordered him a joint support supplement. I think it's called Cosequin. But I figured just in case his joints could use some support, that's what I ordered. I ordered some more of those delectable spoons. Instead of the squeeze ups, they come in a spoon. He really likes those. So he did well yesterday. All the cats did well. I had them on a 4-hour feeding schedule, meaning they got their breakfast around 8 a.m. and then around noon, he got a little snack. He got another snack around 4 p.m. And then they had dinner around 8 p.m. And then he had, he didn't really eat his dinner, but then he had crunchies a few hours later. And then after that, I had a little bit of crunchies in the automatic feeders, and that was more of a 5 or 6 hour schedule. Here's one feeder, there's nothing left. Here's the other feeder, there's nothing left. And they only get half of a tablespoon of crunchies in each side. So they get a tablespoon across both sides. And this bowl had some canned tuna in it, just a little bit of canned tuna. Someone ate that. There's no crunchies left here. This is empty, and this was Splash's dinner. This is the new interactive toy that the cats got, and they seem to enjoy it. Splash and Simba were playing with it overnight, and the Lucky Seven were playing with it during the day when they were hanging out here. What I would like to do today is put the cats on more of a 6-hour schedule, meaning so they'll get the breakfast around 8 a.m., then they'll get a snack at 2 p.m., and then they'll get their dinner around 8 a.m. I want to see how that goes. Maybe it'll work, and Simba would not need to eat so often. Look at Splash. He looks so happy. You happy boy, Splashy? It's 8:15 a.m. I just gave Splash some breakfast in bed. He's still relaxing over there. Today they're having canned fish. They're having 3 different types of canned fish. Some of the Earthborn Holistic Monterey Medley. They're having some Fancy Feast and then some Waruva. Just a little bit of each to give them a variety to see what they like, because I'm still trying to figure out which canned foods they'll eat and which they don't want. So, they're super fussy with the canned food because they do prefer raw food. Okay, you going to eat something, Splash? Eat your food. You want me to leave? I'll leave. Okay, Splash did not want to eat up there. He's going to get some pets here. Hopefully he'll eat on the floor. Splash is a creature of habit. He likes things the same way all the time. Right, Splashy? Right, Splashy? Okay, now you eat your food. Now you eat your food, Splash, okay? You can eat it. One of the nice things about having multiple cats is that there's really never any leftover food, because if someone doesn't want to eat something, like for example, Simba and Splash don't want to eat this food, then I could give it to the lucky seven. They'll eat it, and if not, cousin Oliver or the cats outside will eat it. So nobody wanted to eat this Monterey medley. Nobody wanted to eat this Waruva. The texture on this is always really weird. It's almost like Jell-O. Simba ate a little bit of this Tiki Cat tuna and crab recipe and broth. Like, he took some nibbles on it, but he really didn't want it. Splash ended up eating the Fancy Feast. It was the salmon pate. And then this is what Simba ended up eating. This is the Instinct Raw chicken bites. This is freeze-dried raw. I forgot I had this. And I pulled this out yesterday, and I wanted to see if Simba would eat it as like a snack. He didn't want it as a snack, but what I did this morning, was I reconstituted it with some warm water. I let it absorb the water, get soft, and then he ate it. So reconstituting a little bit more, then he'll have a full portion for breakfast, and then everything will be good. So hopefully he'll eat what I give him. It's 9:30 a.m. and Richard just attacked Simba. I'm very unhappy about it. Simba's very unhappy about it. It was completely uncalled for. So I was sitting at this dining room table, eating my breakfast, working on my computer, and Simba was laying up here, minding his own business. He was trying to take a nap. He was perfectly happy. And what happened was I heard Richard, like, down on the floor, meowing at Simba. And I was like, it's okay, Richard, that's your brother. And I was like, it's okay, Simba. Simba was growling at him. And I did not think in a million years that there would be a fight. I thought, Richard would just walk away. Well, that's not what happened. The next thing I know, Richard comes jumping up and literally lands on top of Simba. And the two of them just start tumbling around in this cat tower. Then I start screaming. Richard jumps off. I don't know where he went. And then Simba was in the cat tower, like, mad and like, what just happened? So then Simba jumped down off the cat tower. Here he is right now. I don't know where Richard is. I have to go find him. He's down here somewhere. He's probably hiding. And it looks like hardly anyone ate their food. This is a bunch of canned food that they had for breakfast. No one really ate it. Simba's on the bed, and he just took one of these Cosequin joint health supplements. These are capsules. You break them open and you sprinkle them on some food or a treat. In Simba's case, he had one of the delectable spoons. I just mixed it in and he ate that. He would not eat it in the pink spoon. I had to actually spoon feed him with like a baby food spoon. So at least he ate this. So we'll see how he does. They say for the first few weeks, you want to give like 2 capsules a day and then just 1 capsule a day, but we'll just see how he does. Here's Splash. Splash is on top of the armoire today. He was up here yesterday. So this is one of his new favorite spots. All of the members of the Lucky Seven are downstairs. I believe they all took themselves downstairs when they heard the cat fight between Richard and Simba. The majority of them are hiding. Nancy was not hiding. Sammy was not hiding. But I shut the door and they're just going to stay down there. They're in timeout today. Also, I was looking into cat aggression. And from what I could tell, this is stemming from anxiety on Richard's part because he tends to be an anxious cat to begin with. And the fact that he does this seemingly out of nowhere makes me think it's more from anxiety versus aggression. Because if it was from aggression, there would be signs of aggression before he does this. But there were no signs of aggression. Even the way he was meowing was not an aggressive meow. It was just like, I want to be friendly type of meow. It wasn't anything that would even be concerning. Like, there was no growling on his part. There was no hissing. Simba was growling at Richard, but as far as Richard goes, Richard was just giving some friendly meows. Like, they weren't even like aggressive meows, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to look into giving him some kind of like anti-anxiety supplements. I actually have some that I purchased several weeks ago, and I put it in their food, meaning the Lucky Seven, once, and I keep forgetting to use it. So I need to do that. I also do have some CBD. I could maybe try to get him to have some of that. I have the calming supplement that Boo had taken in the past when I needed to get him into a carrier to take him to the vet. I'm going to look into something like that for him and just see if we can make improvements. But for today, they're staying downstairs. They're all in timeout. They all took themselves down there. They know they did something wrong, meaning as a group, they know Richard should not do that. So that's what's going on. It's 10:41 a.m. Let me tell you what just happened. So Eva and Goldie are hiding here in this little hidey hole. And I was able to brush them for the first time ever. You see this long shower brush here? I was able to use it to brush them. Goldie's still in there. She's back there. I don't know if Eva left or not. So what I was saying before I was interrupted was that I was able to brush Eva and I was able to brush Goldie because they were kind of captives in that small space. But they let me brush them. They seem to be enjoying it. I don't know. We're going to have to see. The question is, like, will they then let me brush them on another occasion when they're not in a confined space? We'll just have to see, because the way that I was finally able to get through to Ziggy was a similar situation where I had her kind of cornered underneath the chair and then she let me brush her. And then after that, I was always able to brush her and pet her, and she just really enjoyed it. Meanwhile, look at what's going on over here. This is behind the stereo. This is Richard and Nancy. Nancy's laying on top of Richard. And Richard knows, like he knows he did something bad. I'm definitely going to look into giving him and Nancy some kind of like anti-anxiety supplements, because I think that's really what this is stemming from. And if that doesn't work, then we'll just have to figure out some other kind of solution. Right, guys? What are you two doing down there? You're going to stay down there all day, right? That's your self-imposed timeout? Sammy's like, what's going on? What's going on over here? It is 1:18 p.m. and here's Simba's taking a nap on the cat tower. I just got a call from the vet's office about 15 minutes ago, and they said they could take Simba today at around 2:30, which means I have to get him in the car by 2 p.m. Takes us 20 to 30 minutes to get there, depending on traffic. So I need to go make sure my car's cleaned out, make sure I have gas, and get the carrier out and get all that stuff ready. So hopefully I'm not going to have problems getting Simba into the carrier. He's usually pretty good with that. But yeah, that's the situation. It was very nice of the vet to be able to squeeze us in today. I'm in the car with Simba. He is howling. It is almost 4 p.m. and Simba and I just got home. Simba did so good. He howled the entire ride to the vet's office, but then he was quiet on the ride home. Okay, I'm going to let you out, Simba, okay? And Simba had a full checkup, and the vet says that Simba has kneecap problems. So it's his kneecaps that are like moving around. You okay, Simba? And that's what's causing Simba to limp. The vet also said that Simba could have a touch of arthritis. So Simba is going to be put on the Cosequin. I told him that I ordered that. He said that's great. So he's starting on that. He's starting on another supplement to help strengthen his joints and his connective tissue. And also Simba needs to lose weight. He needs to lose probably like 3 or 4 ounces a week. That's what the vet said. So that's what we're going to try to do. The vet said to weigh him once a week and to monitor his weight loss. So let's hope that Simba will actually lose some weight. The vet figured out that in like 3 or 4 months, Simba could be back down to a good weight for himself. The last time Simba went to this vet's office, Simba was around 16 and a half pounds. And that's a good weight for Simba because, you know, Simba's a large cat. Right now, Simba is 19 and a half pounds. So he needs to lose about 3 pounds. And the reason why Simba weighs so much right now is because of everything that happened with Stella and Boo. And, you know, when Stella and Boo were not wanting to eat anything, I was just doing everything I could to get them to eat. So I'd open like, 4 or 5 cans of food and then give them some of that food. And I would like leave it out in case they wanted to eat it. And of course, Simba would come around and eat the food, especially in the middle of the night. So that's how, Simba gained his weight. also, Simba definitely feels the loss of both Stella and Boo, especially Boo, because Simba spent so much time with Boo. Simba and Boo were buddies. So the vet said to keep an eye on him, with regards to that. And the vet did say that, Stella's passing could have played a part in Boo's passing, but at the end of the day, nobody really knows. He was very, very sorry about what happened to Boo. And again, he was like, unfortunately, with animals, sometimes stuff like that happens, and it just happens really fast and kind of like out of nowhere. So, you can only do what you could do. It was like that kind of thing. So, he gave Simba a really, really good exam, and he really spent a lot of time examining his hind legs, and he's putting like a lot of pressure on different areas of his legs. I'm like, what are you trying to feel for? And he's like, I'm trying to feel like the stability of his joints, if I feel any looseness or anything. And that's when he told me that it feels like his kneecaps are a bit unstable. And I was like, oh yeah, my mom saw Simba a little while ago and thought that he had a trick knee. And the vet's like, yeah, your mom's right, because that's what we would call it. We would call it a trick knee, where sometimes the kneecap just kind of moves out of place. I believe it's also referred to as a luxating patella. And I said that years ago, when Simba was limping at that time, I had done some research, and that's what I thought it was. But then it cleared up on its own. And then I also told him about the time Simba first went to a vet because of his limping problem, and that the vet really couldn't pinpoint what it was. They did some kind of like chiropractic treatment on Simba, which I don't think did anything at the time. And then I said I didn't really like how the vet was handling Simba. I thought she was too inexperienced. She wasn't handling cats correctly. So I never went back to that one. So he said, the fact that it has come and gone throughout the years would also make him think that it's kind of like a trick knee. But with Simba's case now, he thinks it's both knees, and it could also be a little bit of arthritis because, Simba's getting older. So he gave me a list of foods that I could buy for him, some canned foods to try that he might like. He's like, try him on Tiki Cat. I was like, yeah, we have Tiki Cat. I tried giving him some Tiki Cat for breakfast. He wasn't really too happy with it. He said to try Fussy Cat, and I had bought some Fussy Cat for Boo. And I know Splash and Simba liked some of it. They didn't like all of it. They liked some of it. So I might go buy him more of that. And he's like, you could try Weruva. And I was like, yeah, they hate that. Every time I try to give them anything from Weruva, they will not eat it. And then he gave me like one or two other brands to try. He said, obviously, try to get him to eat the raw food if he'll eat the raw food. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give Simba a little bit of a snack because, he had a big day. And it's really snack time. It's around 4 p.m. So I'm going to do that. And then I want to run out to Petco, see if I could buy some of the raw food, the raw bites that he likes, maybe look at the list the vet gave me, pick up some of that, and then pick up some dinner for myself, and then come back and finish working for the day. I need to get work done because, I kind of dropped everything this afternoon to take Simba to the vet. I am so thankful that they were able to squeeze him in today because it's a beautiful day. And it was really nice to get him seen right away. The vet spent a really good amount of time with us, answered all the questions. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, rain the next day. Like the rest of the week is supposed to be a washout. So that's good. Also, I have a dental appointment tomorrow. I have to go to my office the day after tomorrow. So like my schedule is pretty full the next few days. So I'm just so happy we were able to get Simba seen. Hopefully, we'll be able to deal with his current leg issue and then actually reverse it. He said it's grade 1, which he said is like, the low end of the scale versus like grade 2, 3, or 4. So the vet is optimistic, and a lot of it is going to just depend on getting Simba to lose weight. And I did say, well, the issue that I have with Simba's weight loss is now I'm kind of really nervous about hepatic lipidosis after what happened with Stella. And, the vet's like, unfortunately, with cats, you never know if that'll happen at all or how quickly it'll happen or anything like that. And he said just to make sure that he's not losing more than I think it was 4 or 5 ounces a week at the most. And then everything should be fine. So that's what we're going to do. But at the same time, I have to balance that with making sure Simba's getting smaller meals more often so that he's not throwing up between meals. So that's the situation. I'm glad we're home. I'm glad we saw the vet. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.